I think is a really good starting point. Now, if you're not a great writer, which not everybody is, then just post up examples of your designs, or comments, or stuff that you're reading at the moment. And that would be another thing that I look for in people, is that they kind of have got a broad knowledge of what's going on in the web. They're obviously hungry and enthusiastic. I mean, it depends on the job they're applying for, but qualifications aren't a big deal for me personally, and that might be because I was an absolute idiot at school. So I don't rate them very highly, and as far as Marcus is concerned, he didn't actually get past anything, did you really? Because you went to be a pop star.
Some O levels.
Did you?
Yeah. See, well, that shows how old I am.
That dates you, doesn't it?
Woodwork or metalwork?
Yeah, well, I got loads of them. Really brainy, honest.
So it's more someone that's enthusiastic, somebody that's reading a lot, taking in a lot of stuff, somebody that maybe is feeding back a little bit through a blog and stuff like that. If you're a designer, obviously it's your portfolio that wins. So again, do any kind of work you want. Work for friends and family. If you don't want to work for friends and family, do your own little side projects. Get something online. Get something you can look at. I want to go into, before I hire anyone, first thing I want to do is I want to go and look at their website. I want to look to see what the code's like, and I want to see what the design's like. So that would be the basic advice. But the great thing about blogging and stuff, of course, is the fact that you're getting your name out there and you're getting seen and heard. And the next step on is to come to things like this, where you can meet other web designers and get yourself into the community a little bit. I think that's a really important one, to meet up with other web designers.
I would say, just a very small point on that, is Headscape's last 2 employees have been straight from university, walked out the door straight into us. So.
And they're ridiculously and annoyingly talented.
Which university?
One Southampton, actually both Southampton, I think.
I thought one was Portsmouth.
Yeah, you're right, yes. One Southampton, one Portsmouth. So both South Coasters, anyway.
Well known, high quality university.
I've got a question relating to that.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I saw a question in .NET a few months ago, and the question was, do you need a degree to get into web design? And the general consensus from the contributors was yes. Now, I don't have a degree and I'm fairly successful, but I wondered what your opinion on that was, considering that you do employ students.
I think what's quite interesting, before we get onto my opinion, is what comes out of this web design survey that Alistair Part have done, which had a huge majority that have bachelor's degrees or higher. So on that basis, the answer is yes. In reality,
I'm going to have to jump in on this one. The last 2 employees I've just mentioned are both developers. So we're not talking about designers here, but as from a developer's point of view, we found that we had to start insisting on degrees, because the quality of potential employee was so massively kind of like incompetent to amazing.
You have to put a baseline somewhere.
We had to put this kind of point in, and it worked. That worked really well for us. So,
what sort of degrees are you shooting for?
That was computer science, both of them.
Right.
But that's not necessarily that's what we specified.
No.
And to be honest, my heart's what I want to say is no, you don't need a degree. Certainly as a designer, I would 100% say you don't need a degree.
Yeah.
My degree was a flipping waste of time. I had 4 hours lectures a week, and I learned absolutely bugger all. So I learned how to have to drink heavily and to have a good life. But
you put it on an earlier podcast to roll a joint.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I didn't learn anything of value. Now, and again, it goes back to what I said. For me, what's important is enthusiasm. Is out there doing stuff, contributing. Is out there learning stuff. How you learn is entirely up to you, as far as I'm concerned. But I can't argue with the development side. It is a bit more complicated, and we do need to accommodate.
Wrong one.
We do need
Freddie Mercury moment there.
We do need to accommodate the fact that Chris Scott is obsessed about degrees.
Yeah, well, it's because he's Dr. Chris Scott.
Yeah.
But you do have your own company, so a degree is not important in that regard for you.
Well, no, I mean, we've been very successful without degrees. I mean, neither of us have got... Well, no, I've got a degree. Yeah, but our degree doesn't count, does it? I mean, let's be honest about it.
But I signed a recording contract halfway through taking my A-levels.
But as you've said, a degree does get a foot in the door.
It does.
Is it worth just doing a degree to have that advantage?
I've got 2 kids who are approaching that age, and I would, in the honest answer, yes.
But in your situation, right, somebody that's already been successful,
But you don't have to have
there's no point in you going back and doing it. You know, I think if you've already got your career up and running, you don't need it. Question here and then.
Just following on from his question then, for people who don't have a degree that wanting to get into companies like Headscape,
Yeah.
what do you suggest people like that do? People
Do the stuff that Paul's been talking about, put, you know, vlog,
Just
put-
get-
show your
yeah.
work.
So
that kind of
for
thing.
companies that are advertising,
What we're after
who
is
want a degree.
intelligent, sharp people who can, you know, do a good job for us. So whether you've got a degree actually doesn't matter.
So when you're looking through job applications for all people who haven't got a degree, you don't just write them off. You also look through what
No,
they're
the
doing.
first thing I always do is I look at their website.
That's what I think.
That's before I read anything else. I look at their website.
So obviously yourself and companies like you, they're not going to have a list of what other companies might do. You can't obviously
No,
comment on,
Larger
but
companies tend to. I mean, I remember I used to work for a paper company, and if you wanted to work in the marketing department, then you had to have a degree. Full stop.
it's just
No
a set of
question. You were
checklists
bit
for
in the
some
bin. You
companies.
haven't got one.
Yeah, we're not that organised to have a checklist of things
we're
that we
kind
would
of
take.
small and-
We would look at each CV. We'd probably assess pretty much all the CVs that come in. And as I say, my starting point is with the website, and then I go back. I look at previous experience. Basically, that's the next thing. Right down low at the list for me would be looking at their qualifications.
It's on your checklist, but it's not at the top
Yeah,
of your checklist.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I mean, it tends to be with developers. It would be an issue, not an issue, but something we'd look for. With a designer, probably not. I mean, it's all about the work you've done. And the developer does. Probably spending too long on this now, but I mean, we were looking at students as well who haven't got a great deal of. Oh, I did this work for so and so, and I did that for so and
So
so.
you need something.
It's kind of like, well, what can you show us? So it becomes more important the younger you are.
Can we just let Christian? I mean, what's the situation at Yahoo? Because I mean, you've had to do a lot of recruitment in the past.
Yeah, and all the people that I hired, I must say, I found through word of mouth from the team or from my logs in my blog.
Yeah.
I found things out there. I approached these people, talked to them, how they are, how greedy they are to do good things for the web, how they understand what's going on in the web, and I didn't care about degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had a degree. My A levels were German, history, English, and astronomy, so nothing computer whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of our technology right now. It is advancing so fast. It's unbelievably. It's just you have to be greedy and you have to know what you're doing and you have to focus on what's important. I mean, I'm approaching universities, I'm giving hack days at universities, I'm lecturing at universities. I'm not saying that they're wasting their time there because it's an important thing, a step in your life to get some structure into it, which I never got, which may get me out of a job in 5 years' time, I don't know. But the main point is that a degree just to get a job, and especially I would disagree with developers. A developer degree and somebody who did in his free time some really cool web development stuff, I hire the guy without a degree more than I hire somebody that sat there and just followed the ideas that university gave him.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was hoping that I was making that point. It's about what people's ideas are.
I mean,
you know,
to be fair, if you look at
what
those,
they do outside of what they have to do. I
if you
suppose.
look at those two examples that you gave there, what finally swung us with both of those wasn't the degree; it was the work that they were doing.
It's also the approach as a designer when it comes to designers, and I can't design for toffee, but fair enough. You look at my blog, you know. But generally, I see a shift in the whole idea. Like I hear you talking about clients, and hear you talking about users. It's actually to me, it's publishers and it's visitors. It's somebody who has something to say or something to sell, and if you understand the client a lot, then you can actually sell them a better design as well.
Yeah.
And a user is not a user but a visitor, because you have to battle for them with 200 other websites. So if you're not engaging enough, or if you don't make it easy enough,